What's up, guys? So today I'm gonna hit a shoulders and arms day, and then I'm also gonna talk about muscle growth and just tell you guys everything that you need to know so you can get rid of all the bullshit. Oh, I should have left it rolling. Fuck. All right, I know I've been sick, but damn, I was weak today. I could normally get a lot more reps with those. But so leads me to my first point. When starting your workout, you typically want to start with your least stable thing first. Not always, but most of the time. You want to increase stability as your workout goes along because your stabilizers will build up fatigue as you go through the workout. So it makes sense. Start with your least stable movement while your stabilizers are more fresh, help you prevent injuries throughout the session. Next thing you need to know, I mostly do 2 sets for every exercise for a few reasons. One, we're minimizing fatigue, so you're actually able to recover. We're not doing 4 sets of shit. 2, we're doing 2 sets because it's so much easier for you to train close to failure or train to failure with only doing 2 sets. Change to 2 sets and watch how much more intense your workouts are, because you're not now starting your first set of 3 or first set of 4 with the first set not doing shit, because you're warming up a little bit, going with lighter weight, not going close to failure. Now you're taking that out of it. I'm not saying do not do warm-ups. Still do your warm-ups, but working sets, 2 hard-ass, balls to the wall working sets. That's all you need. I make all my clients do that, and they switch to that and then see how much better their lifts progress, how much muscle they put on. And then within the first couple of weeks of working with me, they're like, holy shit, I've been lifting wrong this whole time. Also, we now know through research that after basically your first year of lifting, all of your growth is going to come from your higher threshold motor units. So those higher threshold motor units are only stimulated with the last 5 reps to failure. So those last 5 reps to failure are the reps that actually stimulate growth. So when you're doing sets of 12, 15, 20, you're just building up a lot of unnecessary fatigue, and you don't need that. Obviously, we can take the fatigue out of it and go for lower rep counts, heavier weight, see more progress, and get better recovery. Now that does not mean that everything you do should just be 5 reps rate to failure, because obviously there's things to consider like form, your joints. Like, you're not going to want to do 5 reps on something like, if your knees constantly hurt, you're not going to want to go 5 reps on your leg extensions because it's going to hurt your knees bad as shit. So obviously there's concerns like that where it's not always just going to be 5 reps to failure. Or I'm about to do lateral raises. I'm not going to just do 5 reps on my lateral raises because I know I'm going to start to cheat my form really bad. I've been doing machine lateral raises because of stability, which is a thing I'll talk about next. So we'll see how my dumbbells go. I got 35s right now. We're going to go for like a 7 to 10. All right, cranked down a partial on the last one. 8 full reps, 1 partial. You'll notice something too. Obviously, I'm controlling the weight, but I'm not doing a super slow eccentric that you'll see a lot of people say. And that is because, again, after like your first year of muscle growth, you're not going to be growing muscle from the eccentric portion. It is going to be the concentric portion. So if you want to control the weight, make sure you're hitting the target muscles, but do not overly slow the eccentric to where it's going to limit your output from the concentric. One thing people miss on all the time too is their exercise selection and making their workouts redundant. Like if you're hitting your chest, let's say you're hitting chest one day, and you shouldn't do like a Smith machine incline and then a dumbbell incline and then an incline fly. Like you already hit your upper chest with the first exercise. There is no benefit of you changing the exercise and going and doing another incline chest movement. Like if you really want to hit your incline chest more, you could just stay on the same thing and do like 3 or 4 sets, which again, we talked about creates unnecessary fatigue. And going into that actual statistic, so this first set is the most stimulating set for muscle growth for like a muscle group. So if I'm gonna go hit back right now, and I do pull downs, my first set of pull downs is the most stimulating for growth. And that's where a lot of people fuck up, because they're using their first set, going lighter, going farther away from failure, and then they're gonna up the weight as they go through the sets, which is just not what you should do. But anyway, back to my point. Your first set stimulates as much growth that it would take you to do 4 more sets. So you, on your 5th set, for those other 4 sets to match the amount of stimulus you got on your first set. But with the fatigue added in, it's just pointless to do that because your recovery is gonna be so shit. So we're not talking about actual like growth outcome, because if you do 5 sets, your fatigue isn't managed, you're not gonna grow as much as if you did less sets. But I'm just talking about pure stimulus to the muscle. All right, I'll stop yapping for a sec and let's hit some triceps. This weight's too light. I fucked up. This is the importance of marking down your weights and reps, because I just said not to do 15 reps. And I picked the wrong weight and had to do 15 reps. Now I'm gonna be unnecessarily fatigued for my next set, but it's all right. Live and you learn. Another thing, rest times. You have to wait for your body to actually recover before going into your next set so you can get as much out of it. Yes, sometimes I'll be in a rush and I'll be like, all right, you know, I'm only gonna rest 2 minutes instead of 3. But most of the time on your bigger compound movements, you wanna rest 3 to 4 minutes, and then, you know, on an accessory, like I just did triceps, sure, resting for like 2 minutes is fine, but technically your CNS, your central nervous system, is not gonna be fully recovered and ready to go again for 3 minutes. Your body's actual energy systems can be recovered quicker than that, but the CNS is not recovered. I don't necessarily like the setup for this year, but we're gonna do some rear delt flies. Shit. Last exercise, yes, I'm only doing 5 exercises, 2 sets apiece. That's all you need. Oh, I love these preacher curls, even though they suck. All right, last thing. Each muscle group needs to be trained 2 to 3 times a week. So, and also you have to keep in mind, you should not be training like 6 times a week. 3 to 5 is what I say. So most weeks for me, I'm hitting full upper body Monday, lower body Tuesday, rest Wednesday, full upper body on Thursday, full lower body on Friday, and shoulders and arms on Saturday. That should about explain everything you guys need to know to lift properly to maximize the amount of muscle you're gonna grow. I'm gonna leave a link down below on how you can get shredded and build muscle at the same time. So it's gonna go into a little bit more in depth with dieting. So if you wanna check that out, I'll leave the link in the description.